Hi and Assalamualaikum to our panel and our supervisor. Today, I am Nurul Atika binti Zulkifli and my partner research Nur Aina binti Muhammad Fauzi will present to you all about our final year project entitled Factor Influencing Students' Participation in Entrepreneurships in a case study in Faculty of Administrative Science and Policy Study UITM Seremban. Basically, we are supervised under Dr. Noraidah binti Abu Hassan.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Aina. So today I will present about the research background. So entrepreneurial engagement in the academic field is well known to widen the competitive advantages in preparing them for the competitive and globalized world. So in Malaysia, the Ministry of Higher Education and universities have been placed an essential duty in inculcating entrepreneurship ideals among university students. So entrepreneurship is described as the act of producing something valuable by spending the necessary time and effort, accepting the associated financial, psychological and social risks and reaping the results. Thus, because entrepreneurship generates new market, industry, technologies, employment and a boost in a real productivity, a paradigm change among graduates is required to boost the country's economic growth and development. So there are three main focus on this study, which are entrepreneur education, digital technology, and the last one is family background. Okay, next I will explain about the problem statement. So entrepreneurship involvement of the student has widespread until nowadays. This may happen because of several elements, which is one of it is unemployment. So unemployment issue among graduates was not a new issue, and the rate of unemployment keep on increasing from time to time. So Malaysia unemployment rate reported an increase to 5.40% in May 2020 rather than in April 2020, which 5%. Furthermore, as we know, the pandemic of COVID-19 in Malaysia has created many negative effects to the employment rate in Malaysia. So there are so many people that lost their job due to the rising cases. So due to the difficulty of getting a job, the student itself need to be more independent and find any career opportunity that they must reduce, that they can do to reduce the rate of unemployment. So involvement in entrepreneurship is one of the ways to start a career. If the entrepreneurship was started early by the student, this will create interest for them to be an entrepreneur once they are graduate. It will also develop skills and ability of the student that involved in entrepreneurship. Next, I will present about the research question. So there are 4 research questions in this study. So for the RQ1, the question is, what is the relationship between academic subject and student involved in entrepreneurial field? Next, RQ2 is, what is the relationship between social media and influencing students involved in entrepreneurial field? For the third, which RQ3 is, what is the relationship between individual attitude and influencing students involved in entrepreneurial fields? And the last one is RQ4, which is, what is the significant the influence of student participation in entrepreneurial field? Next slide is, I will present about the research objective. So there are also 4 research objectives in this study. The first one is to examine the relationship between academic subject and student involvement in entrepreneurial field. The second objective is to examine the relationship between digital technology and factor influencing students' involvement in entrepreneurial fields. Next, this research conducted to examine the relationship between family background and influencing students involved in entrepreneurial field. And the last one is to examine the significance, the influence of student participation in entrepreneurial field. Okay, next, I will explain the literature review on the determinants of the influence of student participation in entrepreneurial field in the Faculty of Administrative Science and Policy Study, FSPPP, UITM Seremban. So there are 3 main focus on this study, which are entrepreneur education, digital technology, and family background. So the first one is the entrepreneur education. So entrepreneurship education is one of the main factors that influence student involvement in entrepreneurial field. So based on the study of Mazlina Mustafa and Maithili Selvaraju 2015, entrepreneurship education can motivate students to create their own firms by educating them with entrepreneurial skills to integrate experience as well as abilities that are recognized for starting new initiatives. Many universities and colleges have embraced entrepreneurship as a study field and in some cases as a comprehensive study program. Alright, so for the second determinant is digital technology. Digital technologies also contribute to the involvement of students in entrepreneurial field. According to the study of Lilia Satalkina and Gerald Steiner 2020, digital technologies influence the development and growth of the entrepreneurs as it is one of the keys to innovation. Furthermore, based on the Australian research, small and medium-sized firms that actively integrate technological advance to better communication and business operation create more new job opportunities and generate more revenue. According to the study of B. Kurniawan and M. Gunawan 2019, nowadays many businesses have turned into an online business or e-commerce. This is because by using this digital technology, it is easier to increase the growth of the business, especially among students or youth that really know how to manage their business using their social media. Especially with the current pandemic of COVID-19, people mostly prefer to buy things online. For the third determinant is the family background. Family background can be one of the major factors influencing student participation in entrepreneurship. So based on Mustafa 2015, because of family support, students have a strong impact in the business. This is because the student family motivates them to pursue careers in the business world. Motivation is the process of initiating, guiding, and maintaining goal-oriented behaviors. Next, according to the Shamuganathan 2010, students will encouraged by family members who own businesses since they will make them half owners of the firm. It indicates that the family would freely provide resources and cash to new graduates who wish to establish their own business. The surrounding environment and relation support play an important key to the student influence in the entrepreneur scope. So based on the Glyden 2016, relation support are the spirit giving by the close family and friends to the student until they shown the attraction intention in the entrepreneurial field. Alright, so next I will present about the conceptual framework. So as you can see on this figure here, it's shown that the conceptual framework which state that the influence of student participation in entrepreneurial field among student FSPPP in UiTM Seremban, which is the dependent variable, has a connection with three independent variables which are entrepreneur education, digital technology, and family background.
Thank you, Aina, for your part. Okay, I will proceed this presentation with the research methodology because to know the data we collect are valid or not. Okay, the first research design. Under this, we use cross-sectional design and quantitative method. And then unit analysis, we choose student in the Faculty of Administrative Science and Policy Study UiTM Seremban 3. For the sample, we must to get 342 samples from the 3,066 students in the UiTM Seremban 3, but we got 366 respondents. And then for the sampling technique, we choose stratified random sampling technique, or called SRS. Basically, we pick variety of students come from the same faculty of FSPP. Okay, next, for the data measurement, we use questionnaire by Google Form and every respondent need to answer it in the Likert scale. Okay, for the data collection, we give a respondent to answer 5 sections, start from part A until the part E. Okay, then for the data analysis, we choose bivariate percent correlation and multiple regression. Okay, this table are the findings for the demographic profile. Okay, first, for the gender, come from the female and male and show the female has a majority frequency which are 212 and the percentage are 58.5%. For the age, have 4 types of different age level come out from the 18 years old until the 29 years old, and the majority come from the 21 years old. Okay, and then for the year of study come from the final year and non-final year, and the majority come come from the final year. For the program code, there are variety of program code starting from the diploma until the degree level, and then the current academic taking come from the diploma and bachelor degree, and the majority come from the bachelor degree. And then for the current CGPA, they have three types of level CGPA, and the majority come from the 3.0 and 3.50 and above. And then for the type of financial, there are four types of financial, such as loans, one saving, parent support, and scholarship. And then for the work experience in entrepreneurship, we just stated yes or no, and the majority come from yes, which are 272 frequency, and the percentage are 74.9%. And then for the family involvement in entrepreneurships, we state yes or no, and then the frequency majority come from the yes, which are 293, and the frequency are 18.7%. Okay, this is a final result for the normality test and reliability test. For the hypothesis testing, for the first objective to examine the relationship between entrepreneurship education and student participation in entrepreneurship, and the percent correlation are equal to the 0.543, and the P are 0.000, and the hypothesis H0 is rejected and H1 is accepted because there is a significant relationship between entrepreneurship education and student participation in entrepreneurship. Okay, for the next objective to investigate the relationship between digital technology and student participation in entrepreneurship, and the R is equal 0.506, and the P are 0.000, and the H0 is rejected and the H2 is accepted because there is a significant relationship between digital technology and student participation in entrepreneurship. Okay, for the third objective to study the relationship between family background and students participation in entrepreneurship, and the result are equal to the 0.643, and the P are 0.000, and the H0 is rejected and the H3 is accepted because there is a significant relationship between family background and student participation in entrepreneurship. Okay, for the second using multiple regression, the objective to determine the main factor that influence student participation in entrepreneurship. Okay, the result are B equal to 0.523 and P equal to 0.000, and the hypothesis decide family background is the main factor that influence students participation in entrepreneurship because it has the highest value of beta. Okay, the first recommendation improve entrepreneurship education. This is initiative that can be taken to improve entrepreneurs education by creating a mentor-mentee program, especially for entrepreneurship subject. It is best if the mentor pours experience in entrepreneurship to assist the student properly. Mentors are responsible to help students gain better understand regarding the heartless and risks involved in starting any business. Students will learn the appropriate method to eliminate possible problems and seek the best solution. Okay, for the second, create entrepreneurship center for student education institution should set up an entrepreneurs center in campus to attract and encourage pursue their entrepreneurship desire. It will create a similar environment of entrepreneurship for the student to express themselves and get insight. Program allows students to participate in entrepreneurship presentation training program and forum to propose any business idea to the expert panel. Okay, for the third recommendation, early exposure to the entrepreneurship. Early exposure is crucial to motivate children to show an interest in entrepreneurship in a slow and gradual manner. Parents can instill this interest children by constantly bringing them to any entrepreneurship event. Okay, the first limitation are limited scope of study. Okay, student of UiTM Seremban 3 are instructed to do online distance learning or DL due to the pandemic. Therefore, this contributes to the limitations because they are students who do not have access to stable internet connection and might not be able to access the Google Form distributed. The data collection will be delayed. Okay, the second weaknesses of quantitative study. Quantitative restrictive method is inflexible and rigid in collecting data. This data collection method is difficult in controlling the variables and reflects the same research condition. It is different compared to qualitative study where the research are able to get rich and honest feedback from the respondents, not able to gain the same data because some people do not know how to interpret their emotions based on the already given answer where they only have to choose. Okay, for the third limited variable, researchers only apply 3 independent variables in this study, which are entrepreneurship, education, digital technology, and family background. This is because researchers believe these 3 variables are more likely to influence the dependent variable compared to other variables.
In the conclusion, this study proven there is a connection between the independent variable and student participation in entrepreneurship. It's evident through the direct present correlation analysis conducted that all independent variables, which are entrepreneurship, education, digital technology, and family background, are related to this study. The findings are also analyzed based on previous study performed by other researchers. Lastly, the research is considered successful because all research objectives have been achieved and the research question have been truly answered. That's all from us. Thank you.